through his 5 2/3?
I thought he was good. Good stretch there, retiring a few. Not more than a few in a row. And you're kind of getting into just game state, inning state. You know what I mean? Wish there was a little bit more swing and miss. You got a fully rested bullpen, and wanted him to get Julio. It's kind of pick your poison there. I just kind of reading the situation after the walk. You try to squash it. You're not expecting wild pitch and things like that, but I thought Kev threw the ball really well. Did what we expected him to do.
Was that swing and miss and chasing a strikeout the main idea behind that move to Little there?
Yeah, you're trying to read the situation, right? And every game is different. Kind of wanted to turn Polanco around. I think in hindsight, you try to make him chase one more time with Naylor sitting there on deck. And those are things you learn from going into tomorrow. But I think, we talk about everything before the game, and you try to just read it in real time, not ignoring what Kev did and not ignoring what you think is going to happen when you bring a guy in.
One row ahead, Mike.
What was it that you liked about turning Polanco around in that situation?
Well, I think, I know Kev had retired him twice, totally get it, I think it's a good thing to turn switch hitters around at times, and I think it depends on who you're bringing in and what they're going to be featuring too. So that's what made sense in the moment.
And just as far as the offense went, it felt like you kind of had Miller on the ropes there in that first inning, and then there was a 7-pitch inning, few 8-pitch innings. It seemed like you let him off the hook. What did you see?
Yeah, obviously, Georgie gets it going first pitch, and then he was good. He adjusted through a lot more splitters, sliders. I thought we took some good swings, hit some balls at people a little bit. Didn't have a whole lot of batted ball luck, if you want to call it that, but he did a good job. This pitching staff has good stuff. He's definitely one of them, and I think he did a good job of kind of flipping the script. There's a fine line of trying to wait them out, knowing they're depleted. I get it. They've used a lot of guys in their last game for sure, but you want guys to kind of stay aggressive to what they're going up there to do. So you give them credit for making an adjustment and pitching really well.
Go across the aisle, Steve, then Ben.
John, did you consider walking Raleigh?
Yeah, I think every time he comes to the plate, I'm considering it, to be honest with you. Watching the at-bat before, and, I think if it comes down to, hitters, great hitters and hitters in general, I think they capitalize on mistakes, and that split from Kev kind of just leaked back over the middle a little bit. But I think Julio Rodriguez is a really good hitter too, so in real time you're trying to, if Kev executes, I think he gets him out like he did the at-bat before. So wanted to let him try to do it again.
Go to Ben in the third row.
I'm just wondering how Nathan Lucas is doing after exiting the game.
He's doing all right. He had x-rays. He had a CT scan, negative for a fracture. I mean, his knee was pretty sore, obviously. Nate's one of those guys. He doesn't want to come out of a game ever. I think if he's medically good to play tomorrow, he'll be in there. So there's no fracture or anything, but that was a hell of an at-bat, after before and after found the ball off his knee. So we'll see how he is tomorrow.
Go to the front right corner there.
With the 27 pitches in the first inning, and Mike alluded to basically 27 pitches to get through the next 3 innings, the Jays did have good approaches and were hitting line drives. What do you think about the approach of the Jays hitters in this game when you've got a guy on the ropes there and it's such a close game?
Yeah, man, it's a fine line always. You know what I mean? I think we've done a really good job of not taking the bat out of guys' hands. You don't want to get passive. You don't want to deviate from what you're doing. So sometimes major league pitchers make good pitches, you know what I mean? And the ball doesn't go where you plan on it going. So it's a double-edged sword. Again, I don't think anyone on their staff over there is worth trying to wait them out. You know what I mean? And go on to the next guy. They're going to bring in another guy that's going to be really good too. So I thought our approach was fine. I think our approach, shows over the course of the year and into the postseason that we're a really good offense. So today it just didn't work out.
Do a couple last ones. Back to Keegan on your left.
John, just quickly on George in the first there. Were you expecting him to go up and try to blitz Miller there like that? And what was your view of that at bat?
Georgie has a good plan. He's been doing this for a while, So that moment was cool, He always knows what he's going to do before the game starts. So my view, it's an impressive swing to basically hit a no-doubter the other way. So, Georgie's got a lot of leadoff homers.
One last one for Schneid's. Anything else? We'll finish with Steve.
Does the result tonight put more pressure on Yosevich tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. I mean, this is going to be a hard-fought series, man. These guys will be ready for it. I've said it a million times. They're going to be ready to play tomorrow. It does not put any extra pressure on Trey. It's another game, right? We're trying to figure out a way to win 4, and I think Trey will be up for it tomorrow, and I think our guys will be up for the challenge to kind of show what we've been doing all year offensively tomorrow as well.
All right, John, thanks so much. We'll see you
Thanks,
tomorrow.
guys. All right.
Appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Kevin Gossman will be available. On your left is Dan.
Dan, just given all you guys have been through the last 48 hours or so, playing 15 innings the other night, flight delay yesterday, getting in so late here, just how meaningful is this performance here tonight?
Yeah, tremendous. I think, we've talked about just how resilient these guys are, and tonight was one of those instances again. Great job all around. Coming back tonight and getting game one is obviously a big momentum shift for us, and a lot of work to do yet, but the job that Bryce Miller did tonight was phenomenal. Coming back, on short rest, and getting behind early there with the first pitch of the game, getting a little bit of traffic. Even in the first inning, the at bat by Lukes was outstanding. To put a lot of pitches on him, and I thought after that first inning, there was just he went into a different gear, and you saw him getting ahead, using all his stuff. The fastball kept coming out really good, and it was one of those situations where you knew the bullpen was ready to bail him out at any time, but it just kept coming out, and he kept throwing the ball so well, and to give us 6 strong innings, especially coming out of that first inning, and the ability that he had tonight to kind of close the door was phenomenal, and then the bullpen took it from there. Just a unbelievable job on the mound for us tonight, and then you look at offensively, Polo again, 2 huge knocks. To give us, the runs there to tie it and put us ahead, or actually to put us ahead, and Cal's homer to tie it, was a big step too. So just some great at bats up and down. We had a little bit of traffic, not able to do it a bunch tonight, but I tell you, our guys put up some good at bats, and this was just a good win up and down, and as you said, after. Coming back after that long one and a travel day yesterday, it feels good to get game 1.
We'll stay there with Daniel.
Dan, knowing that he was on short rest for the first time in his career and everything that he's dealt with this season with the bone spurs and everything, what was a best case scenario for him? Was it 2 times through? And if so, what gave you the conviction to stick with him?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's postseason, and you have the ability to kind of see and assess as you go, and again, I think the hope was to get through 4, and then we could start working in the bullpen and getting those guys in there, and holding the lead if we had it, whatever. But again, like I said, the way it kept coming out of his hand, the way he just kept going out there and throwing up zeros was huge, and it was evident that he wasn't wanting to come out of that one, and you didn't want him to come out of the game because he was just attacking, and it was awesome.
Adam?
Just how close were you maybe there in the first inning to getting the bullpen going there?
I mean, you have to. That could have exploded pretty quickly, and again, I give Cal and Bryce a lot of credit. Cal, I thought, made a good visit and kind of calmed them down, and then able to kind of work that game plan and get out of that. And the two of them, from there, really took it, and it was outstanding from there on.
The 4th row on your left.
Dan, just how important, Cal's done that all season in terms of the homer, but, you go 5 innings without a hit, without a base runner, to be able to kind of give you that jolt, and then obviously you add on from there, but how important was just that first spark?
Yeah, huge. And I think, coming with 2 outs, I think was big, and just kind of getting out there and hooking that ball. We've seen Cal do that so often, and big situation there to get us back tied. I thought that was a big lift in terms of our dugout and getting us back in it. And again, Bryce going back out there and shutting down that inning and giving us a chance again to come back on offense. And then from there it was Polo a couple of times to give us the 2-run lead. And Gabe just doing what he does, Matty doing what he does, and then Mooney doing the same.
Brian?
Dan, Polo's got 6 hits in the postseason, 5 have driven in runs. What are you seeing in his at-bats with runners in scoring position? Because it's been a grind for you guys most of the season.
Yeah, just seeing what he's been able to do from both sides has been, just outstanding. You look at the at-bats, the 2 homers against Skubal, the right-handed, at-bat tonight again to drive in the go-ahead run. We saw it, the left-handed at-bat tonight to give us another little insurance run, the left-handed at-bats, especially at home in the 15th there. But all of his at-bats, he's coming up in situations where he's got a chance to do some damage and not trying to do too much, and, has put together, just some huge RBIs for us.
Up front on your right, Dan.
I don't want to take away from the clutch hits and the incredible defense on really, there were 4 or 5 really great plays. But again, with Miller in the 27 pitches, a home run, a couple of walks in the first inning, was anything said to him? Because, again, you talked about he maybe found something, but he had less than 27 pitches in the next 3 innings. So did a pitching coach, did Cal say anything?
I mean, I think, he went back out there. I think they were able to get one more hit, I think, there in that second inning, but pitched out of that runner at second jam. I think that gave him a lot of confidence, and from there, he just continued to throw his stuff. I thought his fastball was good, and his secondaries were landing. Again, I don't know if it was anything that was said other than just, him gaining the confidence to roll from there, and that's what he did.
And again, with short rest, that's the case tomorrow with Castillo too. How much, was the work on Friday really come into play for tomorrow? Is that kind of a normal routine for a pitcher?
I think he didn't have to throw in the game on Friday, so that was big. But I think he, coming back after the Detroit outing and only throwing just over 50 pitches in that, I think may have been a help tonight to where he was still pretty fresh. But still, as we've talked about, starters are very into their routines, and they have such solid routines between starts. And when that gets disrupted, you don't know how it's going to go. And for Bryce, it was outstanding tonight.
We'll do a couple last quick ones because Bryce is here. Go ahead, Adam.
Is it Logan tomorrow?
Logan Gilbert will be on the mound tomorrow for us. Yeah.
And we'll
And
finish.
what went into that decision? Sorry.
Just seeing how he feels, and I think the outing the other night in the 15-inning game was really a good side day for him, and he, the way we're looking at it is he took a side session in the game with 40 plus thousand people there. He's ready to go. He's excited. He wants the ball, and so it'll be Logan tomorrow.
We'll finish with Daniel.
Dan, in the first inning, the contact play with Cal running at the plate, just what went into that, and did you think at all about challenging there? Because it looked like his heel might have gotten in there.
Well, we did hold up and thought about challenging, but it didn't seem like there was too much there to go on. But that's a tough play. The runner at third's looking for a ball on the ground to stay out of the double play, and they executed it well. It was actually pretty close, almost closer than we thought. Fortunately, we're able to kind of come back around, get some more runs after that. But again, this is a game of emotion. This is a game of momentum, and tonight we were able to get that back and due in large part to what Bryce was able to do on the mound.
All right, Dan, thank you. We'll bring your winning pitcher up here. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, Bryce, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. We'll start with Ryan in the second row on your left.
Bryce, you'd never started a game on short rest, and Springer, which I'm sure you've seen before, hits the homer on the first pitch of the game. What was going through your mind as that first inning was starting to unfold?
First off, we've always talked about, like, sometimes maybe you should just skip your bullpen and pitch on 4 days, and that's what we did this week. And so, going into it, I felt good. Fortunately, I threw 55 pitches, I think, in Detroit, and so I still felt fresh, and coming off of a 15-inning game in Seattle 2 nights ago, I wanted to get deep and give our bullpen a chance, and I was able to do that. And then, first pitch home run, definitely not ideal, especially on the road. We also joke pretty often that first pitch home run doesn't count, so we're going with that. It doesn't count. But no, it was after that, we had a long at-bat, 12-pitch at-bat, ended up in a walk, and made a lot of good pitches at bat. And, the first inning went pretty long, but I felt like I made some good pitches that inning and had some stuff to build off of moving forward, and was able to settle down afterwards.
We'll stay there with Daniel.
Bryce, Dan said that the plan in a best case was to get you through 4 innings. How much of that was communicated to you before the game, and how much did you appreciate the opportunity to pitch even deeper than that?
Yeah, they didn't tell me anything, any plan. So I was going out there, just letting it rip till they came out and got me. So, after came in and looked and had 27 pitches in the first, I was like, we're gonna have to figure it out here. So, and then after that, it was like 6 pitches, 8 pitches, a lot of short innings, and felt like I was rolling after that. So everything felt really good, really fresh. Was getting ahead, attacking, and it's a recipe for success.
Adam?
you've seen it up close with Cal all year, but he gets that home run. Just what does it do for you and obviously the rest of the dugout there?
Yeah, he's hit a few of them this year, and it's oftentimes a spark for our offense and for our team. And yeah, I mean, at this point, it's anytime he's at the plate, it's you think there's a chance that he might send one, and that's really with the whole lineup. We have a lot of confidence in 1 through 9 every day, no matter who it is. And after I gave up the leadoff home run, I just the plan was to continue to attack and keep them there. That's all they get, and I knew we'd come around and put some runs on the board.
Ryan?
Given everything you've been through this year, not feeling great, dealing with the elbow, all this stuff, how gratifying is this performance? I mean, your fastball had a higher average than any of your starts this year. I mean, how gratifying is all this?
Yeah, it feels great. The year personally didn't go how I had planned and how I had hoped for, but we're in the ALCS, and I got to go out there and set the tone, and I felt great. So arm, body, mentally, everything feels really good right now. So I couldn't ask for anything more.
The fourth row on your left.
Right here. Bryce, we saw you a couple hours before the game kind of sitting by yourself against the center field fence. Seemed like, I don't know, maybe visualizing. You might have talked about this before, but what is that process? What were you doing there? Is it a visualization or what goes into that kind of prep before the game?
Yeah, I just kind of I like to, especially I've never pitched here. I've been here a few times, and I never threw here. So, going into it, I knew this was, the biggest start of my career so far, and just wanted to get out there and mentally kind of get in the zone and visualize, having success on the mound. That's something that Byrne, our mental skills guy, walks us through, and just visualizing certain pitches, with runners on in the stretch, and seeing yourself, kind of from a third-person view of, having success, and that way, whenever you're in the moment, it feels like you've already been there. And so I try to do that, and just kind of settle down. There's been a lot of excitement and I guess nerves coming into today, and coming off of the long game in Seattle 2 nights ago. So just kind of take a moment for myself.
Do a couple last ones, Ryan.
Yeah, Cal came out in the first inning. It was a pretty lengthy conversation. What did he say? Was it a one-sided conversation, or was it a discussion back and forth?
I don't know. I don't even remember that conversation. I don't know. That was after we had first and second?
Yeah, first and second.
I don't know. That was a hectic inning. I don't know. He usually doesn't have much to say, but it's more of he comes out. He sometimes he thinks he has jokes, and I give him a courtesy laugh, a little chuckle, and settle back down and keep going. But no, he's always really good with timing, when to come out and when he knows that we need to slow down and get us back in the zone. And that's what I don't remember the convo at all, but I'm sure that's how it went.
It also looked like you went kitchen sink after the first inning. You tried everything. I think 7 different pitches. I mean, was that part of the plan to try and get you back in it?
I mean, the last few weeks, it's kind of been something I've been focusing on. Is just as the year's gone on, and on and off the IL, I kind of got away from throwing off speed in zone and attacking with those pitches, and it makes things a whole lot easier whenever I'm not just fastball splitter. And that's the last few weeks we've been trying to get back to that, and whenever I can do that, it makes things a lot easier. And so it not necessarily just today, but it's been a work in progress.
All right, congrats on this tremendous game, Bryce. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll bring your catcher up here. Daniel, third row on your left, Cal.
Cal, do you remember what you said during the mound visit in the first inning that Bryce was just talking about?
No, I mean, I obviously Springer hit the home run, and
Luke's had that really long at bat, which was it was a tough one. So, and I thought Bryce made some good pitches, and obviously, lost the at bat. So, kind of tough way to start the game. And then I just thought he was being a little picky there. After that, and just told him trust his stuff. And he was able to get out of it, which is huge. Without putting up a crooked number, and after that, it was for the most part pretty good. Like I said, he was mixing and locating really well, and you just trust in your stuff. They're a really good ball club, and they're really good with bat to ball. So just trusting, trying to get ground balls, pop flies, and not trying to go out there and strike everybody out. So,
standing on your far left, Ken.
Cal, the home run with Gossman. What were you thinking? Did you have to make an adjustment because he was going split heavy?
Yeah, the second at bat, he went all splits, but he's really tough. He's one of the best pitchers in the game. Obviously, he's got two elite, really good pitches with the heater and the splitter. They both play really well off each other. I just choked up and wasn't trying to do too much. I was trying to get bat on ball and really just trying to put something in play because maybe I find a hole and didn't want to punch out again. So, and I was just able to put good wood on it. So, he's a really tough pitcher.
Fourth row on your left, Tyler.
Cal, Bryce was so good last year, and it was a tough year this year with injuries and whatnot. What was he doing tonight that maybe wasn't there earlier this season and was in the past?
Yeah, I think he did a good job of just using all his pitches, and locating them, really. I think that's the biggest thing. He was able to, use his whole arsenal and use different locations, and I think that was the big difference today. Obviously, just being competitive in the zone and with all of them, and he wasn't predictable. I think that was the best part. He was able to keep them off balance, and it's a really tough team, really good hitters over there. So they're good at making adjustments. They're good at game planning, and it just you have to go out there and you have to execute this time of year.
We'll stay in the same row, Cal.
Cal, right here. You come off of a 15-inning game and you fly across the country, flight delay, and pitching staff is spent, all that kind of stuff, like all those circumstances. You overcome all of that as a team. You've been doing that all season, but I'm curious what you kind of saw in the mentality, the attitude of the group, what the talking points were in terms of just shaking off everything around the game and doing what you did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously enjoyed it. Friday night and Saturday we had the travel day, so everybody was loose. We were just hanging out and enjoying it, and we knew we had our hands full today. Just come out and try to keep executing, and really give Bryce credit. Going on short rest and going 6 innings like that, it was really huge, especially for our bullpen who threw a lot of pitches the other day, and the guys came in, Gabe, Brash, and Mooney, and they were really good as well. They were sharp and crisp, and give them credit with all that happened over the last couple of days.
One row ahead, Daniel.
Cal, how much did you hear the boos for you when you were announced pregame, and even in your at bats when you were going up? How much did that maybe add any motivation, and what's the experience like silencing a sellout crowd after that big homer?
Yeah, I mean, we know the fans here. They're a really good fan base, and we've been here before, and they show up really well. It's a hostile environment, so we all knew it was going to be coming today, and everybody was going to be getting that kind of treatment, and that's what it's like in playoff baseball. So, like I said, you tune that stuff out and you try to go out there and execute and slow the game down just like you do, at home as well.
Up front of your right, Cal.
Cal, they don't boo nobodies. It's a sign of respect for what you've done in the regular season here and in now 2 playoff series. What is it about hitting here at the Rogers Center? You seem to excel.
I don't know if it's one thing. I think, really I try to go out there the same plan, and sometimes it's more coincidence than anything with it being here. And like I said, they're a really good staff over there, so they're tough. Their pitchers are really good ball club, and to me, just trying to go out there and execute. And we know that every pitch is important this time of year, so I think everybody's got that little extra fuel. Coming here and anywhere really in the playoffs, it's just that much more fun.
Go to the second row up front.
Hey, Cal. I'm just curious, for your perspective as a catcher, sort of working with the pitching staff, what makes this Blue Jays lineup so challenging? And obviously you guys were able to silence them today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, you look at the middle of their order, they got some big thumpers, but I think obviously everybody also knows is, you know, the contact they put up. You know, they don't punch out a lot, so it makes it really tough. They put a lot of pressure on the defense and a lot of pressure on the pitchers, and you know, it's just knowing that, you know, understanding, you know, you got to execute pitches, you know, to these guys, especially that top of that order, because they kind of get that thing rolling, and you know, those guys are good at, like I said, making contact, driving in runs, moving runners. So it's really important to try to get that top of the order out, and you know, try to stay consistent with that. And like I said, it comes down to executing pitches, and our guys did a really good job of that today.
A couple last ones. Ryan on your left.
Kyle, as a switch hitter, you see Polo get turned. They turn him to the other side. Is that, you know, does that really affect you in a game, like when they make you go to the other side? And what has he meant to you guys this year in terms of big hits and everything else?
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. It's been kind of the heart and soul, you know, over this last month, and you know, really happy for him. You know, that he's healthy and he's playing every day, and it's consistent, and that does make a big difference, because you know, he went through a lot last year with injuries and even earlier this year. So I'm just happy he's healthy like that, and he's been huge from both sides of the plate. I mean, you know, hitting 2 homers off Scooble, you know, big hits today, adding insurance runs, like even the go-ahead one today. Those are huge hits, and even in the regular season down the stretch, he was coming up huge for us. So he's been a real threat in the middle of the order, you know, protecting, you know, me and Julio, and also, you know, driving in runs like that. It's been so huge for us.
One last one for Cal. Anything else? All right, Cal, great game. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Logan Gilbert should be down in a few minutes.